Go ahead and leave that one on. Yeah, I don't normally, but yeah, seems to work. Hello. Hi, everybody. It's Friday Night Live. I'm sorry, I was given some last minute directions to my child before he exited the room. Ow. So, for starters, hi, welcome back. I am Texas Beach Mama, Mama Robin, and this is my Friday Night Live. And tonight we are going to talk about Lady Bird Lake things again. I think I have a way to play videos, um, video clips, so we can learn more about it because I don't know to what extent these people are able to get, not extent they're able to get information that I haven't been able to get my hands on. Now, I don't know what all they're doing to do it. I don't know if they're actually going and talking to people well, some of them are interviews with family members, and I haven't been able to do that. Um, but a little bit of a warning. I don't know what I did last night or the night before, or last night, I guess, in my sleep. But my head, the back of my neck, my shoulders, my back hurts to move. It hurts to breathe. It hurts to cough. It hurts to do anything. So if you see me wince or kind of cry out a little bit, don't pay any attention to it. Um, I wanted to be more prepared for this, but I'm in a lot of pain. So let me try to do something that I tried to do last week. I'm going to try to play a video. If you can hear me, that would be great. Let me see. 40, 26, 24. Good. Might help if I adjust the volume before I attempt this. I don't know if there's nobody watching it yet to hear it. I have found a bunch of clips. Now they're older clips, so they're not updated with the amount. The total amount now is 16. Some of these will tell you it's been 10. Some will tell you it's 12. Some will tell you it's 14. It's whatever. But there are a bunch that I was able to find. Um, um, let me see. um, I don't know if it, I mean, because nobody's watching it at the moment, so I don't know if anybody can hear it besides me. Um, I have no way of finding out. So, but yeah, I did find a lot of clips on about Lady Bird Lake. Um, there's a whole bunch now that I've been able to find. I see I have somebody joining me watching. Is it possibly you, Darlene? Are you out there? Ow. I can't hardly move tonight. But yeah, one of them, a lot of them are students or graduates of Texas University. A lot of them are men. A lot of them are Hispanic. A lot of them are in good health. They're in good shape. They're able to fight back. There have been a few people that have survived it, and they were drugged. Um, there have been, like cameras from like the bars and stuff on the streets that show them leaving a bar. They're walking to their car, or they're getting in an Uber, and then they're not being seen again. Um, I did find out through watching some of these videos that there's an area in Chicago, and I know I heard it in one of these videos, and I probably should have looked it up. There's an area in Chicago that's got a similar bar scene. You got the lake, you got the bars, you got the clubs, and men have been dying or disappearing in that part of Chicago. It's the same way that we're losing them in Texas. And one of the people that did a video about this has a graph that shows that when the Lady Bird Lake killings are happening, the Chicago deaths aren't happening. But when the Chicago deaths are happening, the Austin deaths go down. I find that really interesting. So what I'm learning a lot about this is that the majority of them, the men, are in their 20s and 30s. They are Hispanic. They're in good physical shape. They're able to fight back. They're not big drinkers. Um, and one of the brothers that was talking about his brother was talking about how he has been partying with his brother. He knows how his brother moves. He knows how, he knows what to expect from him. He knows his behavior, his mannerisms. And he's like, the person in those videos leaving the club, it's not like my brother. I mean, it is my brother. It looks like him, but it's not him. It's not behaving right. So with that being said, I'm like, people are like, my brother doesn't behave like this. Like I said, there's been a few survivors, and they were all drugged. They were robbed. And like I said, in a great majority of the security camera ones where they've caught them, they're either walking to another club, or they're getting in an Uber and then they're disappearing. And yet, with 16 deaths in 2.5 years, about 14 of those being men, and 10, 11 of those being Hispanic, and they all were partying in the same area, and they're all, in good physical shape, except for a few. Most of them have been in good physical shape, able to fight back. Um, the behaviors and the mannerisms shown in some of these security camera footages, they're not themselves. Like they've been drugged. So there's a lot going on there with that. And yet the police are still saying, nope, it's no foul play. There's no connection. There's even some talk, some rumor about these Lady Bird Lake killings being related to the smiley face deaths. So, That's another theory on these. There's one theory that it's a network that's robbing men. Another theory, of course, it's a serial killer. Um, there's just a lot going on with this, and the Austin police keep saying, nope, 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 no connection. There's no foul play, no connection. So what I did the other day is got on Google Earth, and I found the area that they're walking around in, or the area that they're being seen in, and I traced like an area from like these clubs to the lake. These people, if they're just staggering in and falling in the lake, are staggering blocks away. They're leaving the main roads. They're going over rough terrain. They're getting on a dirt road. They're following it down for quite a ways. Then they're fighting their way through trees and brush and everything else just to fall into the damn lake. No, not happening. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. And the families aren't believing it. Um, there's videos of the families going to the city council meetings, and they're saying, look, my brother did not do this himself, or my son, or my uncle, or whatever, did not do this himself. One of the victims, you ready for this? One of the victims was found with his eyes taped shut, his mouth taped shut, his feet bound, and his hands bound behind his back. And the police are claiming he did it to himself. So when I mentioned this to my kid, being the person that he is, he used the tape and he covered his eyes and his mouth and his feet. And he was able to tape his hands behind his back. Not do a good job at it, but he was able to tape his hands behind his back. So I guess this person went down there with tape, went through all the brush and everything, taped his eyes shut, taped his mouth shut, taped his feet together, taped his hands behind his back, and then fell into the lake. I don't know, man. It's just an awful lot. Somebody, like I said, my kid, being the kid that he is, got some tape and he tried to do it to himself. He was able to some degree. Not real successful about the hands behind the back. I mean, he could do the eyes and the mouth and the taping the legs together, but getting your hands behind your own back and then taped together, um, just doesn't. Mm-mm. It doesn't make sense. It it I don't know how the Austin police can honestly look at a dead body with his eyes taped shut and his mouth taped shut, legs taped, feet taped together, hands taped behind his back, and claim it to be suicide. I don't know how they can do that with a straight face. I am absolutely mind blown that they even attempted to do that with a straight face. So there is that. Like I said, there's been a couple of women. I think one of the most recent ones, two of them, like I said, happened in the month of December. One of them was a 73-year-old Hispanic woman. So again, I have to ask: was Granny down there rolling with her homies, sipping on gin and juice? Did she fall in? The terrain you have to go through to get from these bars to the to get from the bars, a few 2, 3, 4, whatever blocks away, depending on which bar you're at, down to this dirt road, down this dirt road, across this area, and then into the lake. You gotta go through all this brush and trees. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see how people are. If you're so drunk that you're staggering into a lake and drowning, how are you staggering that far without falling down and or passing out first? How are you staggering blocks down a road, and then some more terrain, dirt road, and then some more terrain, brush and stuff, and managing to get all the way down to the lake and then falling in? I do not understand this. I don't get it. I do not believe. I don't understand how Austin police can look people in the face and go, nope, no foul play. These aren't connected. It's no suicide. That they're, well, the one was suicide, the one was murder. But the guy that taped himself shut, I guess, and taped his arms hands back there, they are claiming that was suicide. I'm like, how did you look the family in the face with a straight face and say, no, no foul play here, ma'am. Your husband taped his own eyes shut. He taped his own mouth shut. He taped his feet together. He taped his own hands behind his back, and then he threw himself in the water. I'm sorry. I don't know how they can do that with a straight face. I am completely mind blown by that one. I don't know, man. Or like the young men from the university that are strong. They're big. They're strong enough. They're athletic men. Now, granted, if they're drugged, they can't fight back. But if they're drugged, that proves that they're not accidentally drowning. So yeah, the Austin police wants everybody to believe that these people are just getting too drunk and they're staggering into the lake. Sorry, I can't buy it. I don't buy it. I do have some video clips I was going to play, but I don't have anybody watching right now, so I don't have a way to test them and make sure that they're working right, because nobody's watching, so nobody can say, hey, yeah, I can hear it, or no, I can't hear it. So I'm not going to show them unless I've got somebody that can watch. You can go, though, if you want. You can go to YouTube. You can go in the search bar on YouTube and type it Lady Bird Lake Deaths, Lady Bird Lake Mystery, Lady Bird Lake Killer, whatever you want to type in. It'll pull up a bunch of videos. Good documentaries that are way better than anything I can do right now. But I have figured out, or I do have a playlist set up of all these videos that I wanted to use tonight, or the clips from the videos. I've also found the guy that claims to be a journalist with the Austin Statesman. I'm going to check his credentials probably Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to, once I verify his credentials, I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him, get him to talk to me about this. So that might be next Friday. The results of that might be as early as next Friday. But yeah, I don't know how you, as an officer, look people in the face and say, nope, ma'am, he did it to himself. He taped himself shut and threw himself in the lake. Nope, Grandma, she must have fallen in on her own. No, you'd have to see the terrain, and that's what these videos show. Is they show the terrain. So whatever. I'm sorry, I can barely move. This hurts so bad right now, just sitting here. But I don't get it. I don't know how they can do it with a straight face. I have no clue how they can do this with a straight face. Yeah, your brother was physically fit, had a little too much drink, and staggered for 6 blocks, and then down a road for a half mile, and then climbed over the bushes and the trees and shit and fell in. My theory is that there's my own personal theory is that there is a serial killer and he is dumping the bodies there. There are other theories, like I said, that there's a network of people that are robbing men. They're drugging them and robbing them, and then I don't know how they're in a lake. I haven't heard that theory is not making a lot of sense, but that is a possible theory. And the reason why the drugging and the robbing comes up is because there's been a couple survivors, a couple of men that say that they survived it. They were drugged, and they woke up at the lake, but they were still alive, and they were able to pull themselves onto, onto the shore or something. So, and if that doesn't tell the police that there's a problem, when you've got a couple of men that are in the hospital, they were drugged. They have, they survived it. They came out of it. They pulled themselves on shore, ended up at a hospital. Yet there's no connections, no foul play. Sorry. Now, I kind of get why Austin's doing this. Actually, I think the only reason they're doing this, the reason why they're denying it, is because I think the reason they're denying it is because Austin is a big um, tourist area. It's got lots of tourism, lots of concerts, lots of live music in Austin. If people thought, if people thought that there was a serial killer running around, they're not going to come to Austin to. They're not going to be tourists. They're not going to come to Austin and party in Austin if they think they're going to die in Austin. So, I get why I get from their perspective why they're doing this, if that is in fact what it is. But on the other hand, we need to know. The families want to know. The couple survivors need to know. We need questions answered. You know what I mean? We need questions answered. We need to know what's going on with our men. We need to know what's going on at Lady Bird Lake. We need to know why they're doing this to our men. So while it may hurt tourism, and I get that, and the excuse about the tourists kind of reminds me of the movie Jaws, um, when the police chief wanted to shut the beach down, and the mayor wouldn't let them because they were going to lose. Fourth of July was coming up, and they were going to lose tourists. And people went and they swam and they got ate by sharks and they died. That didn't look good for them. And if there really is a serial killer out there, or even a network of people robbing men, the more times this happens, the more word that gets spread about it, the more the shit comes up, the worse Austin's going to look anyway. So at this point, if they're hiding it to protect the tourism so that we don't lose money, because I get from their point of view how reporting this is kind of like shooting themselves in the foot. But if they don't do something about it and people keep dying, it's going to get out anyway. And without answers or explanations, it's not going to get any better. So they need to speak up. They need to start, and they need. I don't even think they're really investigating. According to the family members of the interviews I've seen of these family members, they're not buying this shit. They're not buying that my brother, my uncle, my son, whatever, fell into the lake, got drunk, and fell in. They're not buying it. They don't even think the cases are being investigated. They're thinking, oh, this person died. It's an accidental drowning. Case dismissed. And people are mad. Just not getting any answers. And that's what I'm doing this for. I want to help get answers. 2 people died just in December. Plus, like I said, the other 14 over the last 2.5 years. It's a ridiculous amount of people. And most of them are men. Almost all of them are men, and most of them are Hispanic. We don't seem to have a problem with that. What the fuck are we doing here? But, you know, I'm sure my people watch this later. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want everybody to have a beautiful and blessed evening. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary. Make good choices. Be kind to each other. And be sure after you watch this, like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. I think I'm going to call it a night. Y'all have a beautiful time.